What's the solution then, do you think? Do you think everyone should kind of take the route, again, we're going to use a lot of insurance analogies, bring it back to my field, direct primary care is a huge thing coming up. Do you think, so direct primary care are essentially doctors that have chosen to go out independently on their own and be outside of all insurance networks,
Health systems.
and all the health systems. So is that the solution in your opinion, to kind of do away with the networks and the insurance and just have everyone maybe be a cash pay customer, and essentially bringing true capitalism and true market freedom back into it?
Well, first of all, the industry itself needs to be fixed in regard to the safety that is at stake when you fix a car if you fix it wrong. There's no license. The plumber has to be licensed, electrician has to be licensed, doctors have to be licensed, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have to be at a certain standard and be tested and approved. But in this business, anybody can just rent a little place or do it out of their home, and there's no licensing, no.
Do you have to have like E&O, like errors and emissions insurance or anything? Obviously,
well, you
business
should.
insurance, right?
If you ask the insurance, they would say yes. If you ask whoever the official overseer of that in the city or government or local or whatever is, yeah, you ask them, they'd say yes.
But is that? It's required though.
It is.
Errors
if you want to get occupancy permit, I suppose you would.
Okay.
But there's no licensing on how cars get fixed. There's no, like an electrician, he has to pass a test and be licensed to do that work for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't exist in auto body.
I
Or
guess,
in mechanical, really. I mean, there's no licensing that you have to go through. So I feel like we should have a standard that is monitored by a neutral party, not an insurance party who has, a
vested interest,
something that they can gain profit-wise out of having that, or being the overseer themselves. But there needs to be, should be licensed. That's what I personally think. You should be licensed. So all these chop shops, people that buy totaled cars and put them back together but don't really have all the training, especially because they buy new cars that are total lost. But with all the technology, they don't have scans. They just put them back together best they can, and to the outside at a glance they look fine, and they sell them for a lot cheaper, and they do sell.
So don't buy salvage titles.
Don't buy salvage titles. There's a reason they're salvaged. I mean, there is a proper way to fix them, but the reason that they get deemed as a total loss is because by the time you put all the money in to do it right, it exceeds the majority of the value of the car. So
they're never really going to be fixed right.
So they can be fixed right, but it wouldn't be cost effective to do it. And that's why the insurance company, says as deemed as a total loss. So that typically means that 70% of the market value of your vehicle, that's the point at which they would stop.
Yeah.
So if your vehicle
swayed my mind.
Yeah. So
because I was thinking about, I'm going to probably purchase a new car within the next year or so, and I was, all the cheapest ones on Auto Trader and whatever, all it says, this is a salvage title. And I've been doing research, pros, cons, and I've seen, arguments for both sides.
Yeah, I mean, there's a pro and a con. There is. I mean, they could be just fine.
I'm not going to risk it now. Now that you said,
I'm not saying that none of them are, but just the percentage of the time that it would be cost effective to do that is pretty slim.
Sure.
So there has to be something has to give to make that work. And then this guy's
My
going to
mind's
make
changed.
money,
Yeah.
right? And he's going to sell it for $2,000 less than everybody else in town that's selling the same model, make, year. There's something has to give. Either he put it together so inexpensively, which it could be if he doesn't have the tools and the training, to do it. So yes, very careful. Salvage titles, if you were to buy a salvage title or want to, please bring it in and let us look at it.
Sure.
Scott, 36 years of experience, in about 5 minutes of looking at your car, can say, this was had been an accident and it's been repaired, and you need to turn in and run and don't look back. We've actually said that to people who've brought their car in.
What does that cost? just to do like a diagnostic.
We don't really do a
check.
diagnostic. We just
Sure.
walk around. He just has the eye. He can look. He knows
Huh.
where to look.
Mhm.
He knows how to determine if this car's been repaired, and then he can look at the welds and
Wow.
he can inspect. It's not like I can't give you a piece of paper that says, hey, I certify this car to be good.
Sure.
I'm just saying, but as a service and as a way for us to build relationships in the community with the consumer,
Mhm.
it's something that we're happy to do.
Cool.
We
That's
don't
great.
charge
That's
you.
Nice.
We just spend 5 minutes and look and say, hey, yeah, I wouldn't buy this. I wouldn't give this to my teenage driver.
Mm.
And we see them, and we see people come in that's had an accident in one of those, and Scott's like, oh my God,
Hmm.
you're lucky to be alive, and that was it's just scary. There's
It
just
is a big deal because,
it's
like you
so
said,
much
you're,
liability.
you're talking about the safety of
Mhm.
someone when something bad does happen inevitably. Huh.
So-
What?
So just licensing, I think there needs to be, I would rather pay a city municipality, a city inspector, a city something.
Right.
I'd rather pay them an annual fee to be licensed
Mhm.
and have the insurance companies get out of the business of telling people how to do their job and have it be licensed. And then all the ones that do bad work, that do unsafe work, that don't have training to at least a certain degree. You can always have more training, but if you don't have a
Always.
minimum amount of training that you maintain, you can't have this business, and you would get busted big time if anybody said that this business was going on, that you would be in big trouble and be shut down.
That definitely help. I think there should be. I didn't realize there was no licensing or full, correct way to fix X issue.